Airports, a journey through delays and discoveries. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another story about airports. My name is James, and today I'm going to share with you a new experience I had at an airport during a work trip. Airports are fascinating places, full of movement, noise, and people from all over. They can be smooth and fast one moment, then slow and chaotic the next. Last time, I told you about my first work flight to Westfield, with its small delays and sunny landing. This time, it's about a different trip, one that tested my patience and taught me a lot about airports. It was a journey full of waiting, surprises, and a little adventure. I hope you enjoy listening to it. Let's get started. I work at Office Comfort Company, a company that sells office furniture, desks, chairs, and shelves. I'm a sales assistant, and since my first successful trip to Westfield a few months ago, my manager, Miss Carter, has trusted me with more travel. One afternoon, she called me into her office. "James," she said, "we've got a new client in Eastport. They're interested in our conference tables. Can you fly there next week?" I nodded. Eastport was farther away, about a 3-hour flight, but I was ready. The trip would be from Thursday morning to Friday evening, and the company would cover the costs again. The first step was booking my flight. I sat at my desk and opened the airline website. Eastport's airport had more flights than Westfield's, so I had options. I picked one leaving Thursday at 10 a.m., arriving at 1 p.m. The return was Friday at 5 p.m. The round-trip ticket cost $220, more expensive because of the distance. I typed my name, James Wilson, and used the company card. The confirmation email came with my e-ticket, which I saved on my phone. Miss Carter said, "Check the flight status before you go. Eastport's weather can be tricky." Next, I booked a hotel. I chose Eastport Suites, close to the client's office, for $100 per night. I reserved it for one night, Thursday, and got a confirmation email saying, "Check in at 3 p.m. With travel set, I packed Wednesday night. I put a suit in my suitcase, casual clothes for the hotel, my laptop, a notebook, pens, and my charger. I added a small bag with 2 table samples. The forecast for Eastport said, Thursday, cloudy, 20 degrees Celsius, chance of rain. Friday, partly sunny, 22 degrees Celsius. I packed a raincoat and umbrella, just in case. By 9 p.m., my suitcase was ready. Thursday morning, I woke up at 6 a.m. The flight was at 10 a.m., and I needed to be at the airport by 8 a.m. I checked my phone. The app said, "Flight 410 to Eastport, on time." I ate breakfast, cereal and juice, got dressed, and called a taxi at 7 a.m. The ride to the airport took 45 minutes, and I arrived at 7:45 a.m. The terminal was crowded, people with suitcases, families, and business travelers like me. I felt more confident this time, knowing what to expect after my Westfield trip. I went to the check-in counter for Flight 410. The line was short, only 5 people ahead of me. At the counter, I said, "Hi, I'm James Wilson, flying to Eastport at 10 a.m. The agent, a man in a gray uniform, asked for my ID and ticket. I showed my license and phone. He checked his screen and said, "One bag to check." I gave him my suitcase, 16 kilograms, still under the limit. He tagged it and handed me a boarding pass. "Gate 8, boarding at 9:30 a.m., he said. I thanked him and watched my bag disappear on the conveyor belt. It was 8 a.m., plenty of time. Security was next. I joined a line with about 15 people. I put my sample bag in a tray, took off my shoes, and walked through the metal detector, no beeps this time. On the other side, I grabbed my things and checked the time, 8:15 a.m. I walked to gate 8 and sat down. The waiting area had a big window showing the runway, with planes parked and workers loading bags. The screen said, "Flight 410 to Eastport, on time." I opened my laptop to review my meeting notes, feeling prepared. At 8:45 a.m., I went to a cafe near the gate for coffee. I ordered a latte and a croissant, $6 total, and sat back down. At 9 a.m., an announcement came. Passengers for Flight 410 to Eastport, we're delayed 30 minutes due to a technical issue. Boarding now at 10 a.m. I sighed, delays again. I texted Ms. Carter, flight delayed to 10:30 a.m., we'll keep you posted. She replied, thanks, James. Safe travels. I finished my croissant and watched the clouds outside thicken. The forecast was right about the weather. At 9:45 a.m., they called boarding, Flight 410 to Eastport, Gate 8. I joined the line, showed my phone, and walked to the plane, a bigger one this time, with 3 seats per row. My seat was 22C, an aisle seat. I stowed my samples overhead and sat down. By 10:15 a.m., the plane was full, and the pilot spoke, welcome aboard. We've fixed the issue, but weather in Eastport might slow us down. Flight time is 3 hours. We took off at 10:30 a.m., and I watched the ground disappear into clouds. The ride was bumpy, turbulence from the wind, but I drank water and read my notes. We landed in Eastport at 1:45 p.m., 15 minutes late. The airport was medium-sized, busier than Westfield's, but smaller than my city's. I got my suitcase at baggage claim and took a taxi to Eastport Suites. I checked in at 2:30 p.m., room 305, with a bed, desk, and TV. My meeting was at 4 p.m., so I changed into my suit and left at 3:30 p.m. The client, Eastport Business Company, was a 15-minute walk. It was cloudy, but no rain yet. I arrived on time, showed the table samples, and they ordered 10. Deliver in 2 weeks, Mr. Kim, the manager, said. I agreed and left at 5 p.m., just as light rain started. I used my umbrella and got back to the hotel dry. That night, I ate dinner at the hotel restaurant, chicken and rice, and checked my flight for Friday. The app said, Flight 411 to Central City, on time, 5 p.m. I went to bed early, hoping for a smooth return. Friday morning, I woke up at 8 a.m., ate breakfast, pancakes and coffee, and packed. The weather was partly sunny, just like the forecast. I checked out at noon and took a taxi to the airport, arriving at 1 p.m. I had 4 hours until boarding, plenty of time. At check-in, I handed over my suitcase. The agent said, Gate 5, boarding at 4:30 p.m. I passed security quickly and went to Gate 5. The screen said on time, and I sat down at 1:30 p.m. I bought a sandwich and soda for lunch, $7, and ate while watching planes. At 2 p.m., an announcement came, Flight 411 to Central City, delayed to 6 p.m. due to fog. I groaned, another delay. I texted Ms. Carter, flight delayed to 6 p.m. She replied, no rush, be safe. I waited, reading a book I'd brought. At 3 p.m., the screen changed, delayed to 7 p.m. I went to the gate desk and asked, what's happening with Flight 411? The agent said, fog's thick, safety first. We'll update you. I sat back down, frustrated but understanding. At 5 p.m., another announcement, Flight 411, boarding now at 7 p.m. I waited until 6:45 p.m., when they finally called us. I boarded, took seat 22C again, and the pilot said, fog's clearing, 3-hour flight ahead. We took off at 7:15 p.m., and I watched the lights of Eastport fade. We landed at 10:15 p.m., late but safe. I got my suitcase and took a taxi home, arriving at 11 p.m. On Saturday, I told Ms. Carter, 10 tables sold, but the airport was a challenge. She laughed and said, you handled it well, James. Airports can test you, delays, weather, lines, but they're part of the journey. That's my second airport story. I hope you enjoyed it. Airports are unpredictable, but they get you there eventually. Have you had a crazy flight? Thank you for listening, and see you next time.